Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a truth so sharp it cuts through the noise of modern ambition. If you are still chasing after everything by the time you're 40, you're running from yourself. Now, I don't say that to discourage you. I say that to liberate you. You see, there is a peculiar madness in our society, a belief that more is always better, that climbing is always progress, and that chasing is living. But I stand here today to tell you, in the spirit of definiteness of purpose, that wisdom begins when the chase ends. That after 40, it's time to stop sprinting and start steering with clarity, conviction, and inner calm. By the time you reach 40, the need for external validation should begin to lose its grip on your sense of identity. Throughout your younger years, it's natural to seek approval from parents, peers, bosses, or society at large. But if you carry this habit into your 40s and beyond, you risk living a life shaped more by others' expectations than by your own values and desires. Eternal validation is seductive. It feels good to be praised, recognized, and liked. But it becomes dangerous when it becomes necessary for you to feel worthy, when your self-worth depends on how others perceive you, your appearance, your success, your lifestyle. You are giving them power over your emotional state. You become reactive instead of grounded. You make decisions not from clarity, but from fear of judgment or rejection. The mature mind must outgrow this dependency, because the truth is, no amount of likes, compliments, or recognition can compensate for a lack of inner peace and self-respect. When you reach 40, it's time to ask yourself, am I living for myself, or am I still chasing applause from an invisible audience? The most fulfilled individuals at midlife are those who have turned inward and found their compass. They do not need to broadcast their every achievement, nor do they wait for others to approve of their path. They are secure in their identity and purposeful in their direction. This inner conviction is not arrogance, it is freedom. Valuation from others is fleeting, but self-acceptance, the deep, quiet knowing that you are enough, is enduring. The sooner you stop chasing external approval, the sooner you begin to live with authenticity, integrity, and calm confidence. That is the power of maturity. That is the freedom of 40. Chasing perfection is one of the most persistent illusions people carry into midlife. It's the belief that every action must be flawless, every outcome immaculate, and every step free of error. But by the time you reach 40, perfection should no longer be the goal, because it was never real to begin with. What matters far more is purpose. Purpose gives direction, meaning, and momentum, while perfection only creates hesitation, pressure, and paralysis. In your younger years, striving for perfection may have seemed noble. You wanted to impress, to get things right, to avoid criticism. But now, with the wisdom that comes from lived experience, you begin to realize that life doesn't reward those who wait for perfect conditions. It rewards those who act, learn, and adjust. Real progress is messy. Growth is uneven. Breakthroughs come not through faultless execution, but through the courage to move forward even when everything isn't in place. Perfection is rooted in fear of judgment, failure, or inadequacy. But purpose is rooted in clarity and conviction. When you act from purpose, you accept that mistakes are part of the process. You no longer fear them. You stop being controlled by how things look and focus on how things feel, whether they align with your values, your mission, your authentic self. By letting go of perfection, you gain speed, confidence, and resilience. You stop wasting time trying to control every variable and start trusting yourself to respond wisely no matter what happens. That's when life becomes meaningful. That's when work becomes fulfilling. And that's when you truly begin to live with power. Not the power to impress, but the power to impact. At 40, that shift from perfection to purpose is not just healthy, it's essential. At 40, the compulsion to please everyone becomes not only exhausting, but counterproductive to living an authentic and meaningful life. In youth, many of us are conditioned to seek acceptance by saying yes too often, suppressing our true opinions, and molding ourselves to fit the expectations of others. But there comes a point when you realize that constantly catering to everyone else's needs leaves little room for your own growth, peace, and truth. People-pleasing is rooted in a deep desire to be liked and to avoid conflict. It often stems from early patterns of approval-seeking, where your value was measured by how well you conformed or kept others happy. But as you mature, and you start to understand that trying to be everything for everyone is an impossible task. No matter how much you bend, adjust, or sacrifice, someone will always disapprove. And in the process, you dilute your own identity. By 40, life demands a different kind of courage. The courage to be disliked for the right reasons. That doesn't mean being rude or selfish. It means standing firm in your values, your boundaries, and your truth, even if it ruffles a few feathers. It means making peace with the idea that not everyone will understand or support your path, and being okay with that. True respect doesn't come from saying yes all the time. It comes from authenticity. When people see you as someone who is consistent, honest, and self-respecting, they may not always agree with you, and more importantly, you will respect yourself. After 40, your energy becomes too precious to waste on endless approval. Your time must be invested in alignment, not appeasement, because only when you stop trying to please everyone do you finally begin to honor yourself. By the age of 40, many people come to a sobering realization. The relentless pursuit of wealth without a deeper purpose can leave them feeling hollow. In earlier years, chasing money often feels like the ultimate goal. It promises freedom, security, status, and happiness. But once a certain level of comfort is achieved, it becomes clear that wealth alone cannot fill the deeper emotional and spiritual void that many experience. Money may ease stress, but it does not create fulfillment. The real danger lies in chasing wealth for its own sake, without asking why. When accumulation becomes the mission, life becomes transactional. You work harder, acquire more, and yet somehow feel less satisfied. The thrill of hitting financial milestones is fleeting. A new car, a bigger house, or a fatter bank account brings a temporary high but not lasting peace. That's because wealth without a purpose becomes just another addiction, something you chase but never truly capture. Purpose, on the other hand, gives wealth meaning. When your money becomes a tool to support your values, whether that's providing for your family, creating opportunities for others, building something meaningful, or making a difference in the world, then it serves you rather than enslaves you. At 40, it's time to ask deeper questions. What am I building? Who am I serving? What legacy will I leave behind? There is nothing wrong with desiring financial success, but when money becomes the sole objective, it often comes at the cost of joy, relationships, health, and integrity. After 40, the goal is not just to grow richer, but to grow deeper. It's about aligning your financial pursuits with your inner compass. Because true wealth is not measured by how much you have, but by how purposefully you live. By the time you reach 40, the chase for the perfect body should begin to lose its hold on your self-worth. In your younger years, society often trains you to equate appearance with value. You may have spent countless hours, energy, and emotion trying to fit a physical ideal that constantly shifts and is rarely attainable. But as you mature, you begin to understand that a healthy relationship with your body is not built on how it looks, but on how it feels and what it allows you to do. The pursuit of perfection in physical appearance often comes from a desire to be loved, accepted, or admired. But when that desire overrides self-compassion, it turns into a trap. You start treating your body like an object to be judged instead of a vessel that carries your life, your experience, and your strength. The irony is that no matter how much you achieve in terms of fitness or aesthetics, it never feels like enough, because the real issue isn't your body. It's the belief that your value depends on it. At 40, you've earned the right to treat your body with respect rather than criticism. This is the stage to honor your body for everything it has done for you, for the miles it has carried you, the pain it has endured, and the resilience it continues to show. This doesn't mean giving up on health or fitness. It means shifting the focus from appearance to vitality, from judgment to gratitude. Your body is not a billboard for public approval. It is the home of your soul. When you stop chasing perfection and start nurturing strength, energy, and well-being, you begin to experience a freedom that no external admiration can match. That's the kind of relationship with your body worth striving for after 40. By the age of 40, holding on to resentment or seeking revenge becomes a burden that drains your energy and clouds your future. In earlier stages of life, it may feel natural, even justified, to harbor anger toward those who wronged you, to wish for vindication, or to fantasize about proving someone wrong. But as time passes, you begin to see that carrying old pain into new seasons of life only slows your growth. It anchors you to the past and steals the clarity you need to move forward. Revenge, whether subtle or overt, is a toxic motivator. It can drive you to succeed, but for the wrong reasons. Instead of building a life fueled by purpose, you end up chasing validation from those who hurt you or doubted you. That kind of success is hollow because it keeps you tethered to old wounds. Even if you win, it's not truly a victory. It's a reaction. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or condoning what happened. It means choosing your peace over prolonged pain. Forgiveness is not a favor to the other person. It's a gift to yourself. It's a declaration that your future deserves more attention than your past. By releasing the grip of old grudges, you create space for healing, for joy, for new experiences untainted by bitterness. By 40, your emotional energy becomes one of your most valuable resources. It should be directed toward creation, not conflict, toward building, not battling. You reach a point where you realize that the best revenge is not proving others wrong. It's no longer needing to. It's living so fully and freely that you forget the people who once tried to hold you back. And that kind of freedom is only found when you finally choose to let go.